of wines and educate people on what happens when these, if it's a Chambourcin grape, what happens when the Chambourcin grows in Maryland? What's the soil like here? How does that impact the food that we eat, the grapes that are produced, as well as how does it impact the wine that's produced as a secondary product? So Layton's works with us to also produce a Pemberton Coffee House cold brew red wine.
Okay.
And that cold brew red wine is a coffee steeped red wine. So just like you would make cold brew coffee by steeping beans in cold water,
Yeah.
we create a cold brew red wine where we steep coffee beans in red wine. And you get this very, very red wine forward, and then on the back end you'll get a very smooth coffee flavor that you almost expect there to be tannins, but it's not.
Right.
It's very smooth, very clean. So we have a Pemberton Coffee House wine that we are developing with them, or that we have developed with them. Truth be told, we sold out of it within the first 4 days.
Okay.
So we're waiting for our next batch, but it's delicious and it pairs really well with chocolate and very, very well with
One of my
steak.
favorites.
I'm telling you. Well, chocolate works well with red wine, and it works well with coffee. So the same thing is true of steak. Steak pairs very well with coffee. Steak pairs very well with red wine. So red wine coffee.
Why not?
It's it, the best of both worlds. So yeah, that's. Did I answer the question well?
Clever. Very clever. This is great. You're a very, very, very good deliverer of this narrative.
I think.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
No, it's. I'm trying to think if I can reschedule tonight to shoot, and maybe come over and get some footage of Amber.
Oh, that'd be great. I think she's not only is she a dynamic speaker, but she has got her finger on the pulse of a community that is always willing to engage, always willing to have a conversation. And it's I've never seen her in a space where she hasn't been willing to engage constructively, even when there are opposing views, even when she doesn't necessarily agree.
Yeah.
She's always been one to encourage discourse, encourage dialogue.
She's gonna be here.
She should be here around 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah. So the only other thing that I think would be particularly noteworthy is, so we opened the coffee house. The coffee house was really opened in 2011 by the Twilley family. And they ran the coffee house as their son-in-law and their daughter were going to pharmacy D program and physician's assistant program at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore.
Now that's not the Craig Twilley family, is it?
No, Kevin Twilley,
Oh, Kevin lived.
down Pemberton.
Yes.
Yes.
That house that they're still working on.
I'm not 100%
Yeah.
sure, but yeah. So the Twilleys were the ones who opened us initially, and I was a regular, and I loved it. And I used to sit in the corner. I used to overlook the pond. It was a very serene experience for me.
Yeah.
My background is in development,
Okay.
and that kind of bleeds through how we're approaching this
Yeah.
in general. So I used to sit and enjoy it. I appreciated everything about this space. And then their son-in-law and daughter became physician's assistants and became a pharmacist, and they couldn't run it anymore.
Right.
Like so they had to close their doors, and that just broke my heart. So I can safely say this is probably one of the largest impulse buys I've ever had. So.
But it worked out.
Hey, we're gonna do this because you can't just shut down my favorite coffee place. You can't just shut down my
Where
favorite
you took a
place.
leadership role.
This is unacceptable. So we reopened, and we were running very strong for a period. And then COVID happened, and COVID hit the hospitality industry really hard. and it became very difficult to stay afloat. So we tried our very best, and in the process, we realized that it was no longer feasible to keep the doors open. It just wasn't practical.
Yeah.
Financially, it wasn't making any sense. So we tried to stay afloat as much as we can. I mean, thankfully, we had a lot of assistance. Our community reached out to us in ways to support us that we are still trying to. I don't think we're ever going to really be able to pay back.
Okay.
They were fantastic, but it just wasn't sufficient for us to stay available during the peak side of COVID.
Yeah.
So during that time, I went to Ethiopia. I started working, building relationships with coffee growers, building relationships with some artisans there, doing a lot of mission work. And when I say mission work, Ethiopia is a Christian country by and large. I mean development-related mission work. So giving scholarships, building libraries, things like that. And I was excited to do the things that we were doing there, but it wasn't something that could be forever, right? We ended up purchasing the building here, and my family was a big part of that.
Yeah.
And so with their lead on this, we got us to a place where we could really. Hello.
This is my wife, Linda.
Hi. We've
Long time ago.
long time. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
How are you, babe?
Good. I just wanted to stop by and see how's it
Feeling
going.
okay?
Yeah, I am at the moment.
Can I get you a coffee or
Oh,
anything
no,
to
thank
drink?
you. I'm all coffeeed out.
There's no such thing.
That's a theoretical place
Sometimes you're
only.
right. Yeah.
That's kind of like an alternate dimension that I've never quite been able to reach, the all coffeeed out part. I'm like, I disbelieve. You okay?
Pardon me.
So yeah, the after things settled in the States, we came back
Yeah.
and we reopened about a month ago, and it was a very soft launch. It's just a Facebook post,
Okay.
and every day is more busy than the next, and it's been a great. We've been grateful to the support that we've gotten.
Wonderful.
So we opened with a beer and wine license. We opened with evening hours. We opened almost. I mean, it's an expanded version of what was there before,
Yeah.
and we decided. My fiance and I decided that we would have the proceeds that we make from here, and this is not a nonprofit. This is a for-profit business, but we've decided that the proceeds that we get from here, we would like to reinvest in the mission work that we're doing there, because the people that are growing the coffee, the people that are creating the beautiful crafts that we're selling in our gift shops, I think that they are entitled to more than the little bit of money that they've made off of the creation of something that is making it so
Yes.
beautiful here. So because of what they do there, we're able to make this a space that people can enjoy and connect and engage and showcase their arts and showcase their identity. And because of that, we think that they are entitled to a bit more of a piece of the pie.
Okay.
So we're taking the proceeds and willingly giving that back
That's a great move.
to those communities. So
Yeah.
it gives I don't want it to come off as though it's charity, because it's really not.
I know you don't particularly like the word activism, but this is, an activism for good.
Yeah.
And it's not a deep
In the
thing,
little,
it's not
in
an
the
art,
little,
it's
in the
not a
literal, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not in the literal sense of the word. I don't disagree with you. It's the way that people have weaponized the word. That's like, it's amazing how normal words can be weaponized in today's world. Normal words.
Well, everybody's looking
Just
for
normal
clicks.
words.
Everybody's looking for clicks.
Yeah, I mean, these are just normal things. This is not you know how people have made organic
Uh-huh.
something unique?
Yeah.
Organic means normal food,
Yeah.
right? Like, it just means normal food. Like, it's not,
Not processed.
right. It just means normal things. I kind of feel like activism has done that too. Because when you do normal things, like things that you should be doing, like we should be looking at it this way, in my opinion. This is just me. It's just me in my little head, in my coffee house on the corner. Like, this is just my thoughts on the matter. But this is how, if you are not coming from a place of scarcity, of fear, you would do that. I think you would take care of your environment. You would take care of your fellow man. You would.
Theoretically, you should.
I think that's normal.
Yeah.
It's when we've been taught that we need to be afraid of our fellow man, or we need to extract from or take away from the things that are around us in order for us to be. And that's the only way we can survive.
Yeah.
It's when we've been convinced of that we start acting in ways that have now been normalized.
Got it.
So I'm like, yeah, you're right, because the norm is to take advantage of those things and those people who cannot prevent you from taking advantage of them. Like the environment the environment's not going to stop you from overfishing. The environment's not going to stop you from clear cutting trees. The environment's not going to stop you from these things. So why not? It's kind of the attitude. But if you know that you can do it without that, and you're not going to lose, you're not.
Then why
You'll
not?
be fine. Why not
Yeah.
take care of the environment that you're? Why? In fact, you only stand to gain, right? Like, you only stand to be benefited by ensuring that your immediate environment reflects its natural beauty. Just like you only stand to benefit when your neighbor feels comfortable reflecting their natural beauty. Like when they're comfortable being themselves in front of you,
Yeah.
is when you really see beauty. When you see, and you build a real connection. You build a real relationship with people.
This is good. This is good.
Have I talked too much?
No.
This is my, like, have I said too much? Let me know if I'm over
No, you
talking.
haven't. No, you've done beautifully. Because this is a message that is unique to this environment. It's not. For instance, when I did the shoot up at Lido, they're about pizza.
Nice.
Pizza. You know, and I don't. There's nothing wrong with that, but they don't have a compelling narrative as to why should people support this business, because it's more than just coffee.
Well, no, she was on staff.
Food, it's different.
She's always.
And we do have good coffee, and we do have
Oh, you
really
got
good
great
food.
coffee.
And I know I haven't really focused on that part of the discussion, but
You need more? More coffee?
I'm good. I loaded up this morning on espresso, so
see,
I'm buzzing.
We did the base years ago.
Yeah.
And basically similar things that are there in Butler. And the guy that was responsible to make it eco-friendly, the Harvard guy, I didn't see him articulating the issues the way
Okay.
you did.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying this because she's my daughter. No.
You're a little
This guy-
biased.
No, this is-
Just a touch.
We did a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
Strictly mechanical. Strictly mechanical. Yes, we did the eco-friendly.
Because I told Sally.
But retaining native plants, native species, and as I said, talk about it. This guy is someone who have done a lot of research in the subject and trying to implement